Hello YouTube, this is Dynamo22 back again. This is my fourth X and Y Wi-Fi battle that I've uploaded, but chronologically it's actually the third one that I had. And I was debating about whether or not to upload this because it doesn't end up being the greatest game, but I mostly wanted to so that way when I upload battles 5 and 6 there will actually be battles 5 and 6 and just kind of get everything back on target. And yeah, so this one is against NecroStevo, who if you're watching any of my videos, the chances that you don't know NecroStevo are probably pretty small if you've managed to find me. But on the off chance that you haven't, I highly recommend you check him out. He's one of my favorite uploaders to watch on YouTube, so I was glad to get the chance to battle him. But we're just going to go into some team preview right now because I feel like that just contributes to your understanding of the battle, because obviously the battlers have the knowledge of what's on the team beforehand, so I think it's appropriate for it to be explained when you post battle videos. So starting off with my team, we've got the Azumarill there, Ariados, Fortress, and Skarmory, who you've all seen if you've watched any of my other videos, but they're just pretty standard sets. Azumarill's Belly Drum. And then that brings us to Ursaring, which I had just finished breeding at this point, and I kind of wanted to use because Ursaring is super cool. So what we have here is Ursaring and Azumarill have about a bajillion attack power and no speed. So I really want to get Sticky Web up to kind of, that was my game plan when I brought this team. But looking at his team, his biggest threats speed-wise are the Noivern and possibly the Rotom Heat if it's Scarfed, and neither of them are affected by Sticky Web, although Chinchino is, so it could be worth it to set it up for him. But yeah, he's got 3 things immune to ground hazard, so we'll see how useful those are this game. That's Mega Charizard Y, by the way, just to finish my team preview, because I'm OCD about not finishing things. But so let's go to his team. He's got Azumarill, which is a huge threat. Obviously, as someone who's been using Azumarill, it's pretty much tied with Mega Charizard Y as the most valuable member on my team. My team is just basically a bunch of crappy stuff, and then Azumarill and Charizard Y to just kill everything and fight 2-on-6 if it has to come down to that. Then he's got Trevenant, who will block Rapid Spin if I need to do that, which is a pain, and it can spread Will-O-Wisps, which nothing on my team really likes Will-O-Wisps other than this is a Guts Ursaring, so I can switch into that, and then obviously Charizard Y is immune to it. But Leech Seed is a bigger problem. He's got this Noivern, which is the largest problem because this team has nothing especially defensive on it. The good news is Azumarill is fairly bulky in general, and it resists Focus Blast, Flamethrower, and it's immune to dragon attacks. But I have seen Azumarill be 2-hit KO'd by Hurricane from this thing before, so I'm not gonna just be switching in willy-nilly like that. Skarmory is always a pain when you're using physical attackers, which everything but Charizard Y on my team is. This Rotom Heat was also really scaring me. It resists all of Mega Charizard Y's moves, which is a bummer, and then Electric Stab just rips through my team. So we gotta watch out for that. And then Chinchino, I've had a lot of problems with Chinchinos in the past, but those were on teams that weren't OU and didn't have access to Skarmory and Fortress. So that hopefully shouldn't be as much of a problem this match. So that's enough team preview for now. I'm sure you'd like to get into the match, so we'll hopefully press play here. Maybe not. Alright, so I'm gonna be facing NecroStevo here. He's got a dandy looking outfit going on. And I'm going to be leading off with Azumarill. I guess I was expecting him to lead off with something that Azumarill could beat. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't Chinchino. I'm a little bit afraid of a Bullet Seed, so I'm just going to go straight into Skarmory. I was hoping he'd go for tail slap or whatever that move is and get 5 hits of Rocky Helmet. But he just goes for the smart play and goes for U-turn. He does get Rocky Helmet damage off of that, but he does break my sturdy, which is unfortunate. He goes into Oracle, who is this thing, which is I was really hoping not to see, because I have nothing that can switch into it, except for Azumarill. And I just kind of go for Azumarill, hoping he won't go for a Hurricane this early in the game. He doesn't, he goes for Focus Blast, and it misses, which is going to be a theme in this match, but luckily I resisted, so I don't think it would have done that much, but it would have done something. And I'm not going to mess around with this, the Flying Dragon thing that's 6-gen, so I don't remember. Noivern. I'm not going to play any prediction games of any sort while that thing is still around, because it can rip through my whole team if I'm not very careful. So here I just kind of predict him to either set up some sort of hazard or something, and basically Skarmory, the worst he can do to Charizard is probably Brave Bird it, and that still shouldn't do a horrible amount of damage. So I get a nice free switch into Charizard at the expense of some spikes, and I figure there isn't that much in the game that can take Flamethrowers from Mega Charizard Y. Rotom I knew was probably going to be a switch in, but I just wanted to see how much I could do with the drop boosted stab Flamethrower to this Rotom, because it's really the only thing standing in the way between me and Charizard Y roasting everything on his team. And that does a pretty good chunk, so I decided to stay in here because I've got a really good special defense. I think I can live an electric attack, outspeed him, and 3-hit KO him. So I do go for the Flamethrower. He does barely live. He goes for Thunderbolt. I live like I was hoping, but he gets the Paralysis. So that's going to be the end of Mega Charizard Y threatening his team. I really thought, when I saw that damage, I could power through Rotom, and then he'd be in trouble for the rest of the game. But that Thunderbolt's going to change that. He decides to go for Resto Chesto here, because I'd almost killed it. I stay and go for Flamethrower, and I get a crit, so that helps even out the whole paralysis there. Because he used up his Chesto Berry and really didn't gain that much from it. He's still at pretty low health. Specifically low enough that I'm fairly confident in Azumarill's ability to take him out with Aqua Jet. So that's my plan right now. And I'm guessing I just go ahead and go for it because, yes I do, because, oh yeah, the sun's still up by the way, so that's going to do nothing to his Azumarill. But it fades this turn. Again, I've got nothing for electric attacks, and really not that much for fire attacks, especially now that Charizard's dead. So I'm just going to go into Fortress here on his Azumarill. I'm not really sure why. I guess I was predicting the Play Rough, since Azumarill it resists water, but Fairy does not resist Fairy. So in an Azumarill battle, it seems like the logical choice to go for. But he either predicts that or something, and he goes for a Waterfall, which does a fairly good chunk to Fortress. And if that's banded Azumarill, then I'm kind of feeling good about Fortress's defensive capabilities there, because he took about half from that, and banded Waterfall is no joke. But I was hoping, since part of that damage was from spikes, I could live another Waterfall and set up Stealth Rocks. But that doesn't quite happen. He switches to Trevenant, I guess predicting the Rapid Spin. So that works out great for me because I get free Stealth Rocks. I'm just going to have to switch out to Ariados here because there's nothing really Fortress can do to Trevenant with Earthquake and Gyro Ball, and I already got the Stealth Rocks up. So I'm just going to switch into Ariados here, and he's going to put up Leaf Seed, and I don't really care because he's pretty much at full health, so he can get all the health back he wants. I'm just going to stay in here. I'm going to set up as many hazards as I can get my hands on, so that this Trevenant, hopefully when it comes in, gets poisoned, and so it's not going to be that much of a problem. So I go ahead and put up the Sticky Web, which is going to be nice for his Azumarill, so that I know my Azumarill will always outspeed it, and for his Cinccino, because that thing's fast and dangerous. As he just does whatever he wants to Ariados, I don't really care. Ariados isn't going to be attacking, so the fact that he Will-O-Wisp me isn't that big of a deal. And now he's going to go for a Shadow Force to help stall out some Leech Seed and some Burn, because apparently the Leech Seed can suck like through dimensions. Here I figure instead of letting Ariados die for literally no reason, I can just go ahead and get a free switch into Ursaring. I know he has to be going for Shadow Force, and I'm immune to that, and it can just activate my Toxic Orb so I can start going for attacks. I go for Crunch here, because now that Skarmory doesn't resist it, it's pretty safe, and obviously it's the best and only move I can really go for on Trevenant, and it straight out kills him from full health, which is great. You really don't want to mess with the power of Guts Ursaring. He's going to go back into this thing now, but luckily I got the Stealth Rex up, so he's limited in the amount of times this thing can come in and threaten my team. I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice Ariados here. Ariados is burned and got hazards up, so really it got to do that and be fodder as opposed to just be fodder, which is what it normally does. The Hurricane obviously is going to destroy Ariados, and here's where I see that he's Life Orb, which is kind of a bummer because it means he won't be locked into attacks. But it's nice because it means he'll be wearing himself down even more quickly. So I'm going to go into a Azumarill here, because as long as I don't take a Hurricane on the switch, Azumarill can handle the Noivern. And once again, I know Skarmory's probably going to come in, but there's nothing I want to do that involves not predicting around Noivern. Anyways, I kind of got distracted there with something off screen, but I'm going to go ahead and go for Belly Drum here, because last time he went for Spikes as I switched out, and I feel like with +6 I can maybe get through the Skarmory, and if I get through the Skarmory, I can easily take out the rest of his team with a +6 Azumarill. But nope, he goes for the Whirlwind. That's actually why I didn't go for the Belly Drum last time. He switched in, because I thought he was going to go for Whirlwind, but he went for Spikes, and this time I thought he was going to go for Spikes, and he went for Whirlwind, so I got my plays wrong there. Luckily, that turn he decided to use his last switch into the Rotom to try and threaten me out, but what happened there is we had a Skarmory matchup, which is dumb, and kind of what this game is, the problem with this game is we both have Skarmory, because Spikes don't really benefit me that much, but they hurt me a lot, so I wanted to roar him out instead of just having us both get our Spikes up. But he switched into Rotom Heat, took the Stealth Rex, and got roared out, so that ended up working out well for me. And then I roar him into this thing, which is nice because he's going to take some Stealth Rex damage, and he's going to get poisoned. And I can just roost off his waterfalls, because I don't really have anything else that wants to take waterfall other than Skarmory. And he's taking Rocky Helmet damage every time he does this. And I could have gone for Brave Bird to kill him, but I'm trying to get my health up around full because I need Skarmory for some of the other things on his team. So I'm just going to keep roosting because I need Skarmory to be at full health, and he's just going to keep waterfalling. And so I'm just going to be that guy who has Toxic Spikes and Skarmory and uses Roost until all your physical attackers are dead. But this doesn't work out the greatest for me because Banded Waterfall is still doing about half every time I Roost, which means he can just come in here with the Oracle. He's taking more Stealth Rex damage, so he's down to about 2 more switches. Actually 1 because Life Orb has been running away from him. So this time I'm going to sacrifice Fortress. I thought to a Flamethrower here because Flamethrower would obviously roast Skarmory, but he's going to go for a Focus Blast, and he's going to miss again. I think that might be the 3rd missed Focus Blast, or 2nd, but doesn't end up coming into play, just like the other one didn't come into that much play, because he's just going to hit me with a Hurricane and kill me. So he's going to take more Life Orb damage, and once again, my game plan is to sacrifice something, get a free switch into a Azumarill, and threaten him out. Here, though I'm kind of at lower HP from that Belly Drum misplay, so I'm going to go ahead and I think go for an Aqua Jet, just trying to weaken him down to the point where Life Orb kills him, and he's going to use now as, yeah, I do go for the Aqua Jet. he's going to use now as the time to sacrifice his Rotom to the Stealth Rocks. He's going to go into Skarmory because, just as we showed before, Skarmory takes hits from Azumarill fairly well, and I can't Belly Drum because I'm less than half health, and I'm not Choice Banded, so I won't be doing as much as his will. I was hoping to get the flinch, since I ended up being faster. I was hoping to flinch him before he could roost, and that would be, because if I can get through Skarmory, I pretty much got this game in the bag. But he roars me out, and we got more Skarmory on Skarmory, which is why I almost didn't upload this video. But we're both going to go for Roost, which basically defeats the purpose of any of our physical attacks that have happened throughout this game. So we're both pretty much up to full. I'm up to full all the way, because I want to get Sturdy active, so that the next time that Noivern comes in, I can live with Sturdy, roar it away, and then that should be the end of that, and I should mostly have this game in the bag after that point. But what actually happens is I roar him into this Cinccino, and this results in a situation where nothing on my team other than Skarmory can really take on this Cinccino, otherwise I would switch here. Because I still need as many team members as possible to try and get through his Skarmory. So he's gonna go for Rock Blast to avoid getting the Rocky Helmet, and I'm gonna go for Roost because first I just want to see how much damage he would be able to do for me. Second, I need Sturdy in my mind to live a Flamethrower from his Noivern, and then at this point, between Stealth Rocks and Life Orb, I think he only has one more attack with Noivern, which was my thought process here. So I was hoping I'd be at Sturdy, he'd go for Flamethrower, I'd live with one, then I'd Roost up back to half health and he would die, and then it would be my Skarmory, my Azumarill, and my Ursaring against his Skarmory. And I thought between those three I could be able to take out his Skarmory. But what actually happens here is he runs. I was a little bit disappointed because I didn't feel like I had necessarily won yet. But it turns out his Noivern didn't have Flamethrower, so he wasn't going to be able to kill Skarmory anyways. Which meant that really he just saved us from a really, really, really long, tedious Skarmory and Skarmory battle. Which, I mean, depending on who ran out of PP first, would have... Because I don't know if between Azumarill and Ursaring I could have got through his Skarmory. But luckily that doesn't end up happening. So that's normally I don't really approve of running. But that's when like it's one more turn away from losing, and someone goes for the run instead of taking the hit. But really, that ended up saving us a lot of time that I didn't realize. I'm perfectly fine with him running in that scenario, and so that's why I wasn't sure whether I should upload this or not. But all my other videos, all my other battles in 6th Gen Safari have been good, so I figured if I uploaded this one, then I could keep with my practice of uploading every battle I've had. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm now 4-0 in 6th Gen, and I just want to make sure I'm 4-0 because every single battle I've had is a win, not because I only upload battles where I win. So that's the reason behind that. And one more thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this video, since it's less serious, is I'm kind of thinking about putting up a graphic maybe at the end of each video with like stats and like maybe the MVP for my team, or maybe just the MVP of the match overall. I thought that would make it more interesting because since I breed all my guys, it kind of helps foster that more personal connection. I only have one Azumarill. It's not like I've got like 5 different Azumarill sets. I spend a lot of time to get that Azumarill, and now that's my Azumarill. So it's kind of nice to track how different Pokemon are doing that I've used. So we'll see how that goes in the future. I'm probably going to do it whether you want me to or not, but go ahead and leave a comment on what you think of that idea. Maybe you'll see something after this video that's kind of like what I'm kind of thinking for that. But that's enough for this video. I'm sure it's way too long already. Thanks for having the patience if you stayed this long, and go ahead and have a nice rest of your week. Bye.